achieved.
Holy wow, welcome to Studio Day Heffrey on a big day for college football. The rumorooskies were abound that college football was basically about to be dead in the water as of today or tomorrow or the next day. That was the story pretty much everywhere. And by the way, if you can hear my puppy CD smashing around whatever toy he has in the hallway, I apologize. But anyway, college football is the huge story today, and I'll get to some Cowboys stuff after we get through our college football conversation, because the biggest thing happening in sports right now is no doubt this, okay? So this is something that was the child of Trevor Lawrence and a running back at Clemson and a dude at Stanford. Anyway, hashtag we want to play is blowing up right now, and it's college football players saying they want to play, which I think a lot of people are getting the wrong idea on exactly what this says, because I'm seeing a lot of media guys who are supporting this that I don't think will support this once they realize what it actually says, because this is about college football players attempting to have a voice in their game. So what happened initially was the Pac-12 had its own thing going. The Big Ten had its own thing going, attempting to show unity and have a voice in what's going on. And then Trevor Lawrence has tweets individually about how he wants to play and they want to play football. And so now we've got things that are kind of at odds with each other, where Lawrence is like, we want to play. And these other conferences are like, we want a seat at the table and a voice and a revenue split and all this. And so now the players behind the scenes were like, hold on, guys, we got to get together on this. And so what you had was a phone call where, let me make sure I get all the names right. Trevor Lawrence, running back Darian Rencher, they organized a call with 13 players from all Power 5 conferences late Sunday night. That's according to Stanford defensive lineman Dylan Bowles, because players felt like they were being pitted against each other when Trevor Lawrence released a series of tweets in support of having a college football season. So they said, okay, what we got to do is we all got to get together here. We got to have one voice. We got to have one message. And this is their message. They want to have a say in the health and safety procedures and the protocols that are going to protect the players. Players need to have the opportunity to opt out and respect their decision. Of course, that's already happening. Guarantee eligibility, whether a player chooses to play the season or not. And the biggest one is the one that says, use our voices to establish open communication and trust between players and officials. That part won't shock ADs or presidents of schools, but the last sentence will. Ultimately create a college football players association. They want to unionize, basically. They want a seat at the table, which they should have. If you want my scholarship and college football take, it is this. I know a ton of people who are reasonable people are like, oh, but you get, free room and board and you get a free education, and that's valuable and that's cool. And a lot of people want that. But for a lot of people, they're basically just playing minor league sports on their way to the big league sports. And a scholarship's cool in baseball. It's cool in soccer. That's cool if that's enough, because those sports don't generate revenue. They're not making money. Capitalism. Football players are generating billions of dollars. College basketball players, due to the tournament and the TV deal, generate billions of dollars. So the real answer is a free market. Like, if schools decide I've offered you a scholarship and that's what I'll offer you and the player accepts it, great. If a player is worth more to you than that and you offer him more than that, great. But so this is cool. Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, and a lot of other college football players are all sending out the exact same message, attempting to save a college football season that looked like it was going to be dead in the water. And so now, instead of being dead in the water, it's more, we'll see. And I saw from Dan Patrick just a few minutes ago. Let me make sure I get this message right. But Dan Patrick was told about an hour and 20 minutes ago the Big Ten and Pac-12 are going to cancel their football seasons tomorrow. The ACC and the Big 12 are on the fence, and the SEC is trying to get teams to join them for a season. of course, the SEC, even if everyone else is like, nah, it's just not feasible, we're not going to do it, they're like, hell with that, football, join us, let's go. That is very SEC. So we'll see what happens with the college football season, but the players are trying to not only save the season, they're trying to do it while acquiring a big voice in how things go in their leagues and with everything NCAA related. And, yeah, they want to essentially unionize, which is cool. Players are realizing the power that they have. Players and young people in general are realizing the power and the influence that they have and how necessary they are to a lot of things. And it's really cool to watch them grab a hold of that, because for a minute there, Trevor Lawrence's tweets on their own were making other players, I think, look at him and be like, well, hold on, dude. You're just saying about how it's safe and we could get the virus anywhere. And it's like, you're not necessarily sending the same message that all these other conferences are trying to send. Let's get together. Let's all get together. Let's push out a message that we all can agree with. And so they've done that. So shout out. Because that's what I've always said is what college football has always needed from its players. If you wanted to have a seat at the table, if you wanted to have a voice, if you wanted to have a chance to be fairly compensated for what you do bring to the table for a billion-dollar industry, multi-billion, you needed the best players in the league. And I've been looking for this for years, the best players in the league to just all together be like, hey, we're not going to play. Sorry. The guys who are projected to be the top 10 picks in a draft, we're not going to play. And so now what you have is potentially the top 2 picks in a draft, Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields, and a lot of other players pushing the exact same message that, hey, in order to feel safe, we need certain things. We need to have our voice heard. The NFLPA did the exact same thing, where it was like, oh, my God, is the NFL and the NFLPA going to come to an agreement? Eventually, yes, because the players will have their voices heard, and they'll let you know what needs to be done if they're going to take the field. And so college football, I still don't know if it's feasible. I still don't know if we're going to have a college football season, but boy, it just got interesting. All right, one more thing I wanted to get to today other than college football is something that I saw from Louis Riddick the other day. I believe he'll be in the Monday Night Football booth now, which I support. Louis Riddick's really good. And you tell me your takeaway from this, but Louis Riddick, ESPN. The Dallas Cowboys had 9 potential game-tying or go-ahead fourth-quarter drives across 4 games against playoff teams last year, all losses. So in 4 games against playoff teams, you had 9 chances where you got the ball and you could have gone and tied the game or gone ahead. The Cowboys scored just 6 points on those drives. That's 2 field goals. They had the most such drives without a touchdown of any team last year. That is a random but really interesting Cowboys stat. And for me, I do have a tendency to blame the old coaching staff because I think Jason Garrett at his core is a very conservative football mind in terms of, man, if we get into our field goal range, let's really lean on the running game. Let's get it to our back. We're in good shape here. We don't want to give up these points. And I think the smartest and most forward-thinking coaches in the NFL now are looking at being in field goal range as, so what? We need to put points on the board. Go, go, go. Ravens last year are the best example. You get them to 4th and 2, they could be at the 10-yard line. Go get the first down. We think it's a better than 50% chance we get this first down. That gives us a chance to get 7 instead of 3, which is more than 50%. More than 3 is how we get to 7. Let's go get our points. Look at the Texans when they played the Chiefs and settled for a field goal to go up. What was that, 24-7? And, yeah, no, don't be that guy. Got a yard or 2 to go. Let's go get our touchdowns. And I think a lot of people will point to that number and say, look, you had all those chances in the fourth quarter, and they'll blame the quarterback. And it's not totally unfair. He has the most to say about the outcome of any drive, but I think in a lot of cases it was taken out of his hands because of how reliant on early downs the Cowboys were on giving the ball to a running back. And now you're in 2nd and 8, and then you're at 3rd and 7, and you go, oh, Dak, save us. And it ain't easy. Although you can look up Dak's 3rd and long stats last year, and he was really, really good at it. He pulled your ass out of the fire quite a few times. But it's hard, and it's not something you should do. I tell you what, maybe I'll do a full study on those 4 games, and I'll talk about what happened on their potential game-tying or go-ahead fourth-quarter drives. to see who's at fault. That's a good idea. I should have done that before I hit record, but I didn't. And so here we are. More coming in my next video because we're going to have to do a second one today because the Randy Gregory story continues to evolve. I'll hit that and some mailbag. So we will have that for you. Leave in the comments, what do you think's happening with college football? What are we going to hear over the next 48 to 72 hours? Shout out to my 18 percenters who have the notifications turned on and don't miss a video at youtube.com/Jeff Kavanaugh. Shout out to those of you that check 1053thefan.com daily. And just shout out to all of you who watch. I love every single one of you. You're a beast. I'll see you in a bit.